about now? Is that better? Is that better? How about now? Is that better? Is that better? Yeah, 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 yeah. Much better. Yeah. I keep forgetting that I adjust my audio tracks whenever I'm editing videos. Oops. So, as I was saying, I thought it would be fun to make a little tier list about which heroes you can pick in solo queue quick match that will generally net you a good time. You know, there's not a lot of coordination when you're solo queuing. You can run into some 5 stacks, which kind of sucks, but there are heroes that you can pick which will at least give you a decent chance of affecting how the game works or how the game plays out. At least I would say. But I haven't played every single hero in this game for a million hours. So I need a little bit of collaboration. I need a little bit of help with this one. Because I don't know everything. You know? I don't know everything. I'll be the first to tell you that. And we're starting with Abathur, a global hero that can affect the map from everywhere, and who's in every single damn quick match game. There's a lot of Abathurs. There's a lot of Abathurs in this world, but there's only a few good ones. That said, it's really easy to not be entirely useless on Abathur, even though, in general, in quick match, if you got just your average slug with you, you're probably going to be fighting from behind until level 10. I would say he's a bit of an average pick. If you do well with Abathur, you can affect the game quite a lot. But not every Abathur can do well on Abathur. Next, Alarak. Very strong hero. Lots of crowd control potential. Lots of fight control potential. The problem with melee heroes in solo queue quick match is you will very often find yourself as the only front line because people are too scared to tank. Or people just don't want that responsibility. Myself included, I'll admit. I don't like tanking. I don't find it fun. That said, Abathur is Alarak is incredibly powerful, does a ton of damage, and, with certain talent, actually benefits from his teammates dying. You can do a whole lot with Alarak in solo queue quick match. I'd say he's A tier. Yeah, if you get matched with a hyper carry, Abathur is good, but we're planning for like no coordination here. We're like expecting to go into this 1v9, you know what I mean? I've played way too much quick match. Way too much quick match to trust pugs. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I've been hurt before. Alright. And same with Alex, I would say. Well, I don't actually think she's the best healer. She gets 2 ultimates. The one you pick at level 10, and then Dragon Form. And that gives you 2 action bars, and a whole lot of abilities to use. Tons of healing. Her healing circle can be targeted by mages and other skill shot using heroes. But you can use that to your advantage. You know, you put it in just the right spot so that a mage has to step forward and maybe get tagged, perhaps by an Alarak. Oh, but that would involve trusting your teammates, wouldn't it? Yeah, probably. We'll see. I'm trying something new. There's already been technical issues. If there are more technical issues, please forgive. I'm still new at this. What else about Alex? She doesn't have crazy healing numbers. I think she's got the highest healing output on paper in the entire game. She can slow people with E. She can do wave clear if she absolutely needs to. If absolutely necessary, she can take care of some minion waves. But you probably shouldn't. That Lifebinder ultimate is on a 50-second cooldown. That's really strong. Basically full heal someone every 50 seconds. Not fun to play against. Yeah. Yeah, I would say A tier. What do you guys think? Anna. Solo queue Anna? You'll very likely run into a situation where your frontline or your allies don't or cannot protect you. You do stand really far back. If you get good sleep darts, you can get picks fairly reliably and peel for your team. And the healing grenade can deny the other team healing. But do you have a huge effect on the game if you don't know what your allies are doing and you're at risk of being jumped at all times? I'm torn between B and C tier for Anna. I want to say C. I want to say C tier for Anna. Oh, Anduin. This one's easy. Easy S tier. Yeah, he's just really strong. You can actually heal your teammates' bad positioning with his trait. He has ridiculous amounts of healing output. Just crazy amounts of healing output, and he does pretty okay damage. Fun fact, Anduin's auto attack does the same amount of damage as Azmodan's. They are the exact same numbers with the exact same scaling. Yeah, Anduin's easy S tier. I don't even think there's any more discussion to be had there. Let me bring up my cheat sheet here. Yeah. Anub'arak. Anub'arak is a very strong tank with a ton of crowd control. Great at engaging, great at escaping. The beetles can block skill shots. I had a game with him yesterday. I was Li Ming against an Anub'arak and ARAM, and every time I wanted to do anything, there was a beetle in my way. It was very annoying. He's really great against mages with his spell armor and on-demand shields. I'm good, Nefrozen. Caught me mid-thought, sir. A tier, Anub'arak? You gotta remember, this is a solo queue quick match, and tanks are kind of rare. They all seem to congregate in the same game. And we're assuming that you're working with potatoes. Like, no guarantee follow-up on what you're doing. No guarantees. And Anub'arak is kind of squishy. And he doesn't have a lot of damage. He just stuns things a lot. I'd say he's like a high B tier. I wouldn't say he's like the greatest. Like if you have a solo tank Anub, you're kind of like, okay, alright, this is fine. You're not like super excited to see him, but you're not really disappointed to see him. I'd say he's up there in B. I'm gonna put these all, I'm just gonna put them all on the tier list as they come in alphabetical order, and then we'll adjust for like relative overall strength in tier at the end. Artanis. Artanis was one of my first heroes that I played. I really like him a lot. I stopped playing him because of how he works. And I think This might upset a few people. But solo queue Artanis? D tier. D tier. Artanis. Because he's got no escape. And before you're like, oh my goodness, you can do some crazy things with the little swippity swappity. You can like juke him and then swap back and then run away that way. Yeah, you know, if you know what you're doing. If you know what you're doing, you can do that. In general, Artanis goes in and he stays there until he dies or the enemy dies. He's all gas, no brakes. He just goes in and he keeps going. He's a great duelist. He does good damage. His wave clear's not the best. He can take camps really easy. PvE maps. He's got that PvE talent at level 1, amateur opponent, really great for stuff like Immortals and other objectives. But like every time I solo queue Artanis, every single time, it's just a miserable experience. You just get beat up like the whole game, and you're like, please save me. And sometimes in solo queue quick match you don't get a healer even, so you just bleed until you die. It's not a very enjoyable experience, I would say. I'm not saying he's not fun. Arthas. Arthas can solo tank. He can heal. He can poke. He can shut down buildings. He slows everybody around him. Doesn't have as hard crowd control as a lot of other tanks. But he's very survivable. Which is good. And it's good that you can heal yourself, because you will be taking a lot of punches. He gets beat up, just like Artanis gets beat up. But he can still make plays. Yeah. I would say he's an A-tier tank. I haven't played him since that rework with his new silence. But I do know a couple of Arthases who swear by him. And they always perform really well. Yeah, as much as whenever I played him in solo queue, again, this was before the recent changes. Like it was never like an enjoyable experience. But the fact that you can heal yourself really goes a long way. Oh no. Oh, this is gonna give me some hate for sure. Okay, before I place this hero, I again want to reiterate that this is in a solo queue environment with no coordination, no team play. You just load up the game, you pick your hero, and you go in, and will you have a good time? That's what this is about. Because Auriel is very, very strong. She's a very strong hero, does a ton of healing, damage, crowd control. However, that's in a coordinated environment. That's with people who know what they're doing. That's with a battery that you can rely on. Without those things, I'm sorry to say, she kind of suffers. She kind of suffers without really good, dedicated team play. Yes, ooh, that's gonna give me some hate later. Sorry, everyone who swears by Auriel. Oh, would you look who it is? It's my boy. My favorite hero in the entire game, Fatmodan. I'll be the first to tell you, Azmodan is not fantastic. He's got a long range. He can sort of double soak lanes from across the map with his trait. The minion lasts for untalented. His demon lieutenant lasts for 20 seconds? 20 seconds or 21 seconds? Enough to zap 3 minions. So I think I think it's 21 seconds? Because you can soak half a minion wave with it. His damage can be scary, but a lot of the times it's not. But here I am thinking of team play environments. In quick match, you're likely to run into no healer games, in which case your poking is just stupid oppressive. And you can get free damage with demons. People don't kill the demons for some reason. You can just throw demons on people and they chase them down with immolate and auto attacks. It's kind of funny. You can block skill shots with the demons. The laser still kills people. They don't expect it. You gotta use it a little smartly. You can't just laser for fun whenever you want. But I don't actually think Asmodan is fantastic. I think he's a solid solo queue pick. But you might find yourself losing games with him even still. Yeah, he can cover lanes well, and once he gets his stacks, he just deletes minion waves, which can relieve a lot of pressure late game. But it's easy to be useless on Asmodan, unlike other old specialists. Oh, this one's tricky. I don't actually know about Blaze, because I have solo queued tank with him before. He plays a little bit differently than other tanks. You don't... If you engage with your stun, and your team doesn't follow you, or you miss, you're kind of caught with your pants down. So generally, you save your stun for the team to engage on your team, and then you run straight into them, and stun like everybody. As is low A? Top B, I would say, yeah. I don't think Asmodan... You have a lot of fun playing with him, but he doesn't actually, like... How do I say this? A lot of what Asmodan does can be ignored. Like, you just ignore him. He's like, I'm so big and strong and evil, and you're like, that's great, buddy. Anyways. Oh, I'm not saying he's squishy. I'm just saying, if you charge into the team and you miss, like, you're kind of like, I'm here now. Great. And you could have spent that time slowing people, burning people, saving your trait for a nice clumped group of people to do a whole bunch of AoE damage on. Blaze can also wave clear, which is really nice. A lot of people take Blaze as a second front line, but again, we're solo queue here. Solo queue Blaze? Oh man, that's a tough choice. Asmodan and Nazeebo are pretty much the same role in solo queue, yes. I agree. But Nazeebo, I think, does it a hell of a lot better, and we'll get to that when we get to him. I'm gonna put Blaze in B for now. B for Blaze. B for Blaze. For now. But I'm open to suggestions. Oh wow, would you look at that? Another easy S tier. Brightwing going straight up into the top slot. Brain dead healing. High skill ceiling. Global. You can soak. There's a bribe talent, which isn't necessarily the best pick, but she does have one. Really easy to play Rescue Ranger Brightwing, with many different talents to enable that. You can do a whole bunch of healing with the Blink Heal, you can teleport in, and then Emerald Wind everybody away from whoever's getting beat up. Very strong. Very strong hero. Polymorph. Ooh, don't even get me started on Polymorph. That's probably the strongest crowd control, single target crowd control ability in the game. You just point, you click, and that person is slowed, and silenced, and dead. Cassia. I don't actually play a lot of Cassia. I don't actually see a lot of Cassias. The ones I do see are pretty cracked. She can get kills. She does a bunch of damage. I need help with this one. I don't really know. Wave clear is not fantastic. She counters attack damage heroes pretty hard, which is probably why you don't see a lot of her in quick match, because you never know what you're going to get. I don't know about Cassia. Yeah, she does rely on having a good comp. I don't know what the next guide will be. I have a different video coming out at the end of this month before I start working on hero stuff again. This, I just thought would be fun instead of satisfactory. I'm just, again, like Blaze, I think I'm just going to put her in B while I think about it. Yes. Yes. Fantastic. Chen. Actually, I want to get this one out of the way first. Cho'Gall is also S. I know you can't play him in solo queue. I know you need a Gall to come with you, but you pick Cho'Gall with someone who doesn't know how to play the game, and you just ogre your way around the map, and you win at level 20. It's dumb. Cho'Gall's broken. It's stupid. If you're lucky enough to get percent damage to counter a Cho'Gall in quick match, it's still hard because he's so freaking strong. But anyways, you can't solo queue with Cho'Gall, but I'm still putting him in S. Chen. Don't see many pandas. I do know a particular panda who's very good. And I would say that his opinion would carry a lot of weight if he's here. Are you here, Funky Brewster? Are you here? Are you here, Brewster? Maybe he'll show up later. However, I don't really see any pandas. So I don't know about this one neither. Shoot. What does he have? He's got that Roly ult. He's got the Storm, Earth, and Fire ult. He's got Wave Clear. He can support his team with the shields. Fat Illidan. I think if his Wave Clear was better, he'd be higher on the list. He's pretty survivable. But you do lock yourself down when you're drinking from your keg. I'd say maybe like high C tier, low B tier. High C tier. I don't have enough data on that one. Chromie has fallen far from grace. I remember the times when she was stupid oppressive. You pick Chromie and you just win your games. Because no one can hit her. She does a ton of damage. She's just busted. But you don't see Chromie anymore. She's just gone. See her in ARAM. Quick match. Her wave clear is expensive. Like, she can clear waves, but you'd rather save that W for a hero you really don't like. She's got some fun utility with her ults, some fun utility with her E. And until you hit level 18 and get the piercing Qs, you really got to position well. Can she carry games? No, absolutely not. Absolutely not. Sorry, Chromie. No, I'm not streaming on Twitch yet. I'm new to the streaming business. I never actually wanted to be a streamer, but we're trying stuff, you know? This is why it's everything's broken and I'm muted half the time, because I don't know what I'm doing and I don't do any research. D.Va. D.Va. My most recent experiences with D.Va. I never felt like I was accomplishing anything. I would bop around the front lines, auto-attack stuff. Like, I don't really play D.Va. I play her in ARAM. She can solo lane kinda, but she's not a great duelist. Like, she'll take a bunch of damage from whoever she's 1v1ing and be like, "Nyaha, I'm so good at the video game." It's like, yeah, great. You're still feeding XP by losing your mech. Yeah. Yeah, D.Va is feed me stacks tier. But I don't think she's D tier. I don't think she's, like, miserable. I just think she's awful. Yes. Yes. A lot of these heroes have changed. Like, I don't play a lot of these heroes. There are a ton that still sit lost and alone at the bottom of my time played. But I do play a lot of this game, and I do see a lot of people using the heroes. This isn't like a super serious ride or die hardcore tier list. We're just having fun. You can always make your own. Deathwing. Yeah, Chromie's in D. You don't see a lot of her. She doesn't do very well when you do see her. You might run into like a really cracked Chromie every now and then, but you know, it doesn't count. It doesn't put you up a tier. Deathwing. Deathwing is kind of average at everything. If you're good at making space for your team, your efforts go a long way. You don't have to rely on your team at all. You don't even have to think about them. Really. Which is great for solo queue. But he's so slow. And to heal himself, he has to take himself off the map. He can stall objectives really well. Deathwing is fantastic at stalling objectives. But if you're not ready for the fight, if you show up and you can't take as much damage as possible, you're kind of a wet blanket. Kind of a limp sausage. Yes, yes. Oh, well, the reason that Ana is in C is just because in quick match solo queue, again, this is a solo queue quick match list, and we're taking into account a little bit of matchmaking fuckery, because you can run into games without healers and without tanks. Ana needs a little bit of protection, otherwise she gets jumped. The old lady needs a hand across the street. As for Deathwing, yeah, C tier. He's just kind of okay. He does all right by himself. Oh, if it isn't the old man. Deckard Cain. Deckard Cain is great at making space, like Deathwing. Deckard Cain is great at setting up crowd control combos. He's great at peeling for his team. His potions, if you're not dropping it on people's heads, and you shouldn't always drop potions on people's heads. They need to learn to pick up the potions. But therein lies the problem. You have to rely on your team to pick up the potions, and sometimes they're panic and not watching where they're going, or they just straight up miss it, or they dodge it for no reason whatsoever. So he's not S tier. Because there's that little bit of messy uppy that can happen. Not S. I wouldn't say Deckard is S. He's not like Anduin, because Anduin can put his heals directly on people. Brightwing can force people to take healing. Deckard has to aim, and if you're dropping potions on people's heads, you're going to fall behind on healing. You need to set up a little bit with Deckard. It needs a little bit of foresight. And a little bit of foresight means you have to rely on your team a little bit, and so if you're solo queuing Deckard, you'll have fine games, but you won't have the best ones. D-Hawk. D-Hawka. Great wave clear. Global presence. A menace in team fights. Not a fantastic duelist. He can take camps. No, sorry, he can't really take camps. But still, what he does for his team is pretty good. And if you solo queue Dahaka, you can still have an okay time because of how much you can heal yourself. S tier Dahaka. You think Dahaka's S tier? Tell me why. Tell me why. Tell me why Dahaka is S tier. He's a literal monster. Okay, well, no accounting for aesthetics. Insane Soak. Yeah, the Soak's pretty good. He is map dependent. There are maps where if you solo queue as Dahaka, you just get screwed because there's no bushes. Ooh, that's actually huge. That's actually huge. If you get a good map with Dahaka, like Garden of Terror, then it's a lot of fun. But if you get something like Volskaya or Hanamura, ugh. That's true. I think he would be an S if he was viable in every map, but because sometimes you just get hosed, I would say it's A tier. Because this is as much a can I do stuff on my own tier list as it is a what if I get screwed solo queuing tier list. I think he's pretty high in A tier, if that's any consolation. Most maps, yes. But he suffers a lot when he suffers. We'll adjust the rankings at the end. We'll adjust the rankings at the end. Diablo, the Playmaker. Lots of damage. Point and click crowd control. A second life when you get your souls. Tons of HP if you don't die with your souls. A lot of disruption. A lot of interruption. Dive, 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 dive. Dive for days. But can he swing games? Yes, he can. But like Dehaka, map dependent. If you get Volskaya with Diablo, you might struggle. Those lanes are big, and there's not a lot of walls. Even on the objectives, there's like tiny little points that you can charge into. You can still catch people for sure. Very positionally dependent tank. Still very strong, I would say. Always happy to see a Diablo on my team. Yeah, he's pretty gross. Sometimes you run into the Diablo, and you're like, oh, I don't even have to play the game anymore. Diablo's just killing everything. ETC. A lot of crowd control. Playmaker tank. Definitely can win games. Incredibly squishy. A lot of the times when I see ETC players play, they'll use their charge to dive in, and then they explode. The good ETC players I play bully the front line, bully the enemy front line, just knocking people away and keeping space for their team, and they either dive out, or they only dive in when a kill is guaranteed. Like when you need to stun someone. Like if you're kind of like bullying people and then the enemy team leaves and there's someone lagging behind a little bit, ETC will dive in and push them back into his team. He does have a global ultimate, so there's a little bit of flexibility there. He can clear waves. He does okay damage. He is really squishy for a tank. Maybe like low A tier? Low A tier. Like a low A tier. Tough choice. This is not as easy as I thought it would be. Ooh, I don't know. I think I'm just gonna fall back to you can't trust your teammates and put ETC in B. You can't trust your teammates in solo queue quick match. You can trust your teammates if you're stacking. Yes. But solo queue quick match is a different beast. Different beast. He's still good. Like this isn't a list of how good heroes are, as evidenced by Oriel being in D. So, if your favorite heroes are a little bit lower than you expect, it's not personal. It's not for reals. This isn't real. This is just for funsies. Falstad. Oh, well, Falstad. Obviously S tier. You know, he's one of my favorite heroes, so obviously I'm just gonna put all my favorite heroes in S tier. Except Cho'Gall's in there, and fuck you, Cho'Gall. Eh. Falstad, good wave clear, good damage, can kill people, can get away, can make plays with gust, can take camps, super fast, doesn't have to mount. He's just crazy good. Crazy good. I don't think I've ever played a Falstad game where I've hated my life. because of the amount of things you can do for your team. Nothing is real. Nothing. There's no original thoughts. Everything's been done, and nothing is real. Yes, yes, yes. That gust potential. The plays that you can make with gust. Feeling for your team, locking people against a wall, punishing bad positioning. Super, super strong. Super, super strong hero. I think if you're a new player and you want to get good at the game, Falstad is a fantastic pick. It'll teach you your limits because you got bird bones. You're very squishy, but you're very fast, and you can do a ton of damage. Especially if you stack that Q quest at 1. I used to try a whole bunch of other builds with Falstad, but I pretty much exclusively go Q build because if they have a tank that you can just bully with a hammers over and over and over again, you hit like 90 stacks on that hammer, it just melts people. And then you get that 15% spell damage increase or that debuff, 15 spell armor debuff, it just melts people. And in a quick match, there's a ton of mages, so spell damage abounds. I usually play Falstad with Kel'Thuzad because Kel'Thuzad will root 2 people, and then I just hammer into his root, and then they take bonus spell damage, and people just die. Yeah, no healer, he dies. And if you run into another hero on this list, you just die. There's one hero, above all else, that shuts Falstad down so hard, it's not even funny. And he's also an S tier pick for solo queue. We'll get to him later, though. Phoenix. Regenerating shields. Free damage. AoE, he can swap his attacks with an AoE blasty blast, or tunnel in with tiny little laser pew pew pews. He's got good slows. He can teleport away. It's kind of a slow teleport. It's interruptible, but still, just teleport before they interrupt you, stupid. Very strong hero. Hard to punish until he's not. Can take camps. He can stay out on the battlefield forever if you only take shield damage, and even then, you can still get away with stuff if you are good at managing your health. Good ultimates. He's got that long-range planet cracker that can zap someone across the map if they're not expecting it. And then whatever other ultimate he has, I don't see that one. I'd say he's A tier. Well, what would keep Phoenix from being S tier? What keeps him from being S? I don't know. I think if you're a good Phoenix, you're really hard to punish. He doesn't scale well, you think? He is pretty fat. He does have a big hitbox, you're right. He's also lost because of his teammates. He can get focused. Positioning? Positioning it comes down to you a little bit, like your personal player. He's not Vala, yeah, that's true. I think what keeps him out of S tier. I'm just gonna put him in A and worry about it later. I think damage output, but like he still does a ton of damage. But he isn't Vala. Yeah, he doesn't do as much. He's just really strong. Kind of like an egg though. He's real fragile. Garrosh, the war chief of the Horde. Very strong auto attacks. Everyone fears the war chief. We've all played against him. We've all been running around having a good time when suddenly an orc comes out of a bush and throws you into his team and you just die. And then you're like, all right, I'm never going to get close to Garrosh ever again. But can he carry games? If you solo queue Garrosh, you will still have a good time because it's really easy to just throw bones to your teammates. You go, here you go, here, take this one. And if they even have half a brain cell, your teammates will be like, oh, he's a free kill. And they just kill whoever you throw. Yeah, if your team isn't soaking, however, it's really awful. The war chief needs his horde. He needs his horde to be capable at doing everything so that he can stomp around the front lines getting free picks, which definitely keeps him out of S tier. He can't wave clear. He can duel kind of. He can like get into a scrap 1v1, but unless his team is there, he's probably not going to get the kill. Yeah, he's A tier. Very strong. Very strong tank. That armor is really nice. He's got some self-heals. He can work in solo queue quick match. You can do things with Garrosh. You can have games. It'll be okay. But you gotta trust your teammates. Still, I think his power on his own puts him in A. Gazlowe. Oh, hey, buddy, I just did a video on you. And I hate you almost as much as I hate that video I made. Ah! I'd say Gazlowe is C tier. You kinda just stomp around with Gazlowe and things happen around you. He's got good crowd control. He's got good setup with Grab Bomb. We had a pretty crazy Grab Bomb game with him yesterday, am I right? If you were there, you know. Turrets can block skill shots. Turrets can hold points. Turrets can dismount people. Turrets can scout and ward. Gazlowe can take camps. That actually kind of might bump him up a little bit. But if you solo queue Gaz, there is the very real risk that you frontline as him. Your solo queue frontline main tank Gazlowe. That's kind of sucky. Yeah, I don't think he's C tier. I think you're right. I think he's B tier. He does okay. He's kind of slow with his abilities. They have a little bit of wind up. But like, you'll just be playing Gazlowe. And you'll run around. And then you look at your stats at the end of the game and you have top damage. And you're like, what the fuck? How did that happen? Yeah, I think he's B. You're right. Genji. That's a A tier hero if I ever seen one. He's not S because he can't wave clear. He can't take all the camps. You can do the little micro stutter stepping for like the siege camps and stuff, but you really should be PvPing as Genji, especially because in solo queue quick match, you're really hard to punish. You might run into a situation where they can't do anything. They have no crowd control, and you just play for free. You just have a free game. You're like, oh my goodness, I'm a ninja. I can just zip zappity zoop everywhere, and it's no problem. No punish, never. Ridiculous damage. Even with his nerfs, which happened years ago, I believe. Yeah, that's true. S in the right hands. A everywhere else. D if you're bad. You can just get away with a lot in uncoordinated environments. Hard to punish. Unlike Greymane, who's pretty easy to punish. Greymane does a ton of damage, and that's kind of it. He's like a nice pocket knife. He's like a reliable little pocket knife. You just keep it on you. You can do some murders if you need to, but it's not going to save you. You're not going to carry games. You can take camps. You can duel in lanes. You do lack self-sustain, which is kind of awful. If you don't have a healer in your Greymane games, you're going to cry. It's going to be bad. You're going to be wish that you were put down. Not my words. C, huh? Wow, elaborate. Elaborate, Sigslit. Why is he C? Tell me why. Yeah, that's true. That's true. No healer games are kind of awful. You can pop off a bit in no tank games with Greymane. And if you get bullied too much, you can just go PvE all game. You don't need to like stack quests or nothing. Maybe like a high C tier? We'll worry about where they are in the actual ranking once we get to the end. Oh, we don't even need to talk about this one. Gul'dan. Easy S tier. Self-sustain, damage, you can stay out on the map forever. Fast, fast, fast wave clear, great bully potential. You can do everything in Gul'dan. As long as you don't step too far forward or get caught out, you just play the game. It's just Gul'dan is solo queue quick match simulator. There's a reason there's so many Gul'dan one tricks. Yeah, I see you. I see you, Tenna. There's a reason everybody wants to play Gul'dan. He's just really strong. Across the board, really strong. You can do everything. Yeah, so you can rat out at level 20. Oh, Gul'dan. You ruin my day sometimes. Hanzo. Hanzo, very high damage. Actually, now that I think about it, Phoenix and Gul'dan are kind of the same. Phoenix is physical damage. Gul'dan is spell damage. Phoenix has an escape. Gul'dan has a heal. They're similar. They're kind of similar, but I think Gul'dan is better. You prefer the armor drop on Horrify? Who are you? Anyways, Hanzo. Lots of damage on Hanzo. A conditional escape, jumping over walls. Really good in no healer games, weirdly enough, even though he's squishy. He's got long range and high damage, so he can poke people down. He can be hard to punish, but he's also easy to pop. You catch Hanzo out of position, he kind of dies. Just falls over. He's got good ultimates, with one arguably being better than the other. Arguably. The stun is more useful. Tough choice. His damage is so high. It's kind of like Greymane, but he's a lot safer than Greymane. He's much, much safer than Greymane. I'd say he's B. I don't want to put him in S. Or, sorry, I don't want to put him in A. Because he's really easy to punish compared to everybody else in A so far. Yeah, if you're really good with Hanzo, it's easy S. But we're not assuming maximum skill here. We're assuming like average, above average skill, maybe slightly below average if you're honest with yourselves. B. Yeah, happy to put him there for now. Yeah, he does kind of explode. Hogger. Now, I don't actually play Hogger. Hogger. I don't play him. But I've seen him. I've seen him played. And boy, nothing gets my jimmies rustled more than this frickin' Knoll getting away with an unstoppable spin at 1 HP. He is ridiculously hard to punish. He has self-healing. He's got wave clear. He's got damage. You get into a hallway with him and you just bounce around and delete the enemy team. I'd say he's S tier. You can take camps. Yeah, no. The last hero put in the game, and he's just busted. He's just busted. They didn't fix him. Ugh. He makes me mad. I don't like playing against Hogger. You know what? Yeah, Hammer. I'm gonna say this. I'm gonna say this on stream live. Sergeant Hammer, as much hate as I give her, I don't actually think she's terrible. I don't actually think she's bad. I think she's just okay. But we'll get to that. What gets my jimmies rustled with Hammer is how people play her. How the average quick match Hammer, how that plays out. That gets my jimmies rustled. Just a little bit. Kind of like with Abathur. Kind of like an Abathur. Like, Abathur's a fine hero. Totally fine. Very strong. But I've just been burned so many times by people not doing enough. Oh, speaking of not doing enough, our boy, Illidan, who has been power creeped to hell. Probably the most power crept hero? Probably? Maybe Valeera is worse. Hammer is good in solo queue. I will say that. For the same reason that, like, that Genji is good in solo queue. You just run into game. We're not even at Hammer yet. You know what? Screw it. We'll do Hammer now. Why not? Hammer is good in solo queue because you can run into the same situation like Genji, where you just can't be punished. They don't have the range to deal with you. They don't have the dive to get to you, and you just sit back and you bang, 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 bang. You just shoot them for like the whole game. You just bang, 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 and there's nothing they can do. On the flip side, there's the games where they seem tailor-made. The enemy comp is tailor-made to deal with Sergeant Hammer, and you just AFK because you're useless because they just pick you and you just can't do anything. So she's not fantastic, but she doesn't suck. I give her a hard time, but she understands. She can take it. Anyways, Illidan. Like I said, he's very power crept. But in the right hands, he's okay. But we're not in the right hands here. This isn't the right hand sort of tier list. This is more of a, oh boy, I have an Illidan on my team in quick match kind of tier list. He can do just fine soaking lanes and jumping into fights with Hunt. He's got okay damage. He's pretty easy to punish. Yeah, there no more tier lists after this one. This is the last tier list for Heroes of the Storm. Unless Heroes Revival. Heroes Revival when? I saw that post. I saw that post about it going to Game Pass. We'll see what happens. We'll see if it's true. Distracted. Illidan. I'd say he's like perfectly average. I don't think you'll have fantastic games with him. I don't think you'll have awful games with him. And the games that you do have that are great and the games that you do have that are bad kind of balance each other out. Like Greymane, if you just get bullied all the time, you can go take camps or push lanes. Yeah. I think I've... maybe C tier? He has to do... Illidan has to put in more effort to do what other heroes can do with their brains off. Yeah, we'll put him in C for now. We'll put him in C for now. We'll think about you later. Imperios. Probably the best duelist in the game. For Melee, anyways. You can run into games where you're solo tank Imperius and do just fine. His Q has a ridiculous, like, suction to it. You can miss your Q and you still get the people. It's weird. It's really strange. He's got percent damage. He can blow up other front lines. They do. Yeah, you can initiate really well for your team. If they don't follow up, though, that's unfortunate. Still, the amount of damage and, like, bullying potential Imperius has, I think puts him in A tier. I think he's really strong. She doesn't have the best wave clear, but that doesn't matter if you just kill your opponent and then you can hit the wave while they're dead. Ooh, Jaina. One of the first mages you get in the game. One of the first heroes you get in the game, potentially, if you pick her. High combo potential. Slows on all of her abilities. If you're not prepared for a Jaina to walk out of a bush or around a corner and just dump all of her ice on you, you're screwed. I think she's A tier. I think she's incredibly strong. She kind of plays a little more like a melee assassin than anything. You gotta get really close. But as a reward for getting close, you delete people. Yeah. She's not S because she needs support. She can get cut out. Even with Ice Block, she can get cut out. I think she's a solid A. Johanna. Probably the best newbie tank there is. Probably the best average tank there is. The best average tank? It's just a solid pick. You can't go wrong with Johanna. Lots of shields, lots of health, blinds, slows, stuns, escapes. You can wave clear if you absolutely need to. Very strong hero. I think Johanna's an easy S tier. S. S for strong. S for solo queue. Yeah, I don't have any problems with that. Junkrat. Junkrat is kind of like Asmodan, but better in every single way, except for amount of hit points. You have a trap, which can be really inconvenient if you're good at placing it well. Even if you can't place it well, it still gives vision around it. It can't be destroyed except by being stepped in by minions or heroes, and you can take a talent to make it only trigger on heroes. The grenades also give vision. Very fantastic scouting. His escape is really annoying. He has his ultimate for 1, which is everywhere in Quick Match, and his mine, which if you play against a Junkrat that has learned he just has to play around his mine, you're never gonna catch him. He just gets away. He's got to mess up horribly for you to tag this stupid rat. Yeah, I'd say Junkrat's S. I think... accounting for skill? Well, like, you can play Junkrat really safe for the whole game. You can just sit back and lob grenades and... Oops. Drink your gamer sups. You can just bang bang. Ha ha ha. No one can touch me. KT for sure is A. Kael'thas, my beloved. You got a nice stun. You got Living Bomb, which punishes people grouping up. You don't actually get a lot of good Living Bombs anymore. You have to be in some tight areas. People spread out. People have learned. Kael'thas has been around for forever. So you can't, like, cheese Living Bombs as much anymore. You hit your Flame Strikes. You gotta hit your Flame Strikes. You don't hit your Flame Strikes, you're useless. You say that for all the heroes, but, like, what other damage do you have other than your W? You got nothing as Kael'thas if you miss. And you can enhance all of your abilities with D, with your trait, which makes them even better. A bigger area on your Q, a free W, or multi-stun. That multi-stun. Hit that. Hit your multi-stun with Kael'thas. People die. And his 2 ultimates are really good too. Phoenix. You can just use Phoenix off cooldown to clear camps, or push waves, or merc towers, or hold an area. And then Pyroblast if you absolutely need to kill somebody. It's very slow. It's very obvious. You can still kill people with it if you just Pyroblast them to the face. A lot of times when I play solo queue Kael'thas, I'll go Pyroblast because I know I'm going to get dove on, and I'll just throw my whole combo on my body and then start casting Pyroblast, and whoever jumps me dies. But he's not S tier. Is Kel'Thuzad S tier? Yeah, I do see a lot of Kel'Thuzads. But I don't see a lot of Kel'Thuzads that put the fear of God in me. I know, like, 6 Kel'Thuzads that I'm genuinely scared of. All the other ones, you hit him and he dies. He is very, like, he can stop fights before they happen. He can just win games. If you hit your stuff. If you hit. If. Let's be honest with ourselves. And I speak as someone with, I believe, a sub 50% win rate on Kel'Thuzad. Let's be honest. You're not going to hit everything. And I think that alone keeps him out of S. But like when you win really hard. But he is really squishy. And you have to PvP a lot. You can't be running off soaking waves as Kel'Thuzad. You can do it. You shouldn't. You can, but you really need to be PvPing. I don't think he's S. I feel it in my soul. I think he's really high A. But that's accounting for skill. And like I said, sometimes people play Kel'Thuzad and you just shoot him and he dies. You got to teach people early in the match as Kel'Thuzad. You got to teach them real early to fear you. You got to be like, look at it, it's 2 minutes in and I'm already 15 stacks. And then people are like, all right, okay, I'm sorry, I'll stay away. Kerrigan. One of my least played heroes. I'm going to need some help with this one, because I've seen a lot of Kerrigans absolutely pop off. But I think she's really momentum-based. B or C? B or C for Kerrigan? Sorry, the delays got me a little janky. I didn't look at the chat. I was wondering if you were here. I was wondering if you would be here. That's funny. Really, Kerrigan has the highest quick match win rate? I didn't know that. I think she's really momentum based. I think if you can snowball with Kerrigan, you do just fine. Oh yeah, Dahaka is in flux. There's a couple of heroes here that aren't like it's set in stone right now. And since you came in late, this isn't like a strength tier list. This is like a I'm gonna queue into solo queue quick match, and I hope to have a good time. Which heroes should I pick to have the best time with? Kind of a tier list. And so Dahaka could very well move up, but we're just gonna adjust things at the end. You know, we're gonna look at everything once it's all placed, and then be like, oh, maybe this one's better than that one. Maybe this one's better than that one. And Kerrigan is B. Greymane and Illidan. Yeah, kind of like Greymane and Illidan. Very good in lanes. She's got that stun. She's got that grab. Her ult, the Ultralisk is pretty good. Can catch people. Yeah, we'll get back to Dahaka. Don't you worry about Dahaka. Don't you worry about him. He'll be okay. I'd say B for Kerrigan, maybe? Ooh. Kharazim. Kharazim is a lot of fun. I really like playing Kharazim. Don't like playing Kharazim in solo queue quick match. It is a miserable experience because you are both the healer and very likely the only front line. Or you have a very weak front line and one of them is Kharazim. He has great potential. Potentially. But by himself? On your own? The movement helps save people, yes. I don't think he's that great in solo queue. I really don't. His heals don't come online until later. You get flamed for picking damage talents early. Sometimes you're the only frontline, you just get beat up and you have to run away all the time. You need a comp for Kharazim. You need to plan around having a Kharazim, just like you need to plan around having an Oriel. You know? You need a plan, you need to go in it with your team, you need to be ready to go. And solo queue, you just don't have that. It's not there. It's just not. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I love you. I'm sorry. Leoric. I think you can have perfectly fine average games with Leo. I think he does fantastic wave clear. He's a good enough front line. He doesn't have a lot of crowd control, but he can tank a lot. Takes a lot of damage. And when he dies, he doesn't go back to the core. So he's on the map faster, which means he's back doing things faster. The whole time he's dead, he's haunting the enemy team. Ideally. Yeah, I know his movement speed saves people, but Yeah. The D tier of this tier list, Ido. The D tier is how miserable of a time you'll have if you pick these heroes in solo queue quick match in terms of coordination with the randoms, what you can get screwed with in matchmaker, and how much they rely on having a good comp. Really, it's not that these heroes are bad. I think Oriole is really good, but I don't think she's that great if you just pick her by herself. Like if you just go into the game, open it up, pick Oriole, and go into quick match. I don't think you're gonna have a good time most of the time when you pick Oriole. He does get kited a lot, but he makes up for it with damage and wave clear, I think, and being able to stay out. And if you're up against tanks that engage into Leoric, I think he does perfectly well. I don't think he's the greatest solo queue, but I don't think he's the worst. Lily. This hero is probably another power crept hero. So brain dead. You just hold Q down all game. You don't even have to take your finger off the button. You just hold Q down, and you'll do perfectly fine with Lily. She can't really wave clear. She can't take camps. There's a sort of bruiser build you can do with Lily. That's a lot of fun, but what are you doing? You're the healer. Stop trying to kill people. Heal people. Heal us. Her ults also aren't that great. There's a lot of startup lag when you hit jugs that people can still die with. You gotta hit jugs early. If you're trying to like emergency heal with jugs, it might already be too late. And then Water Dragon, you just pick that to troll your team. I'm kidding. Water Dragon is also just kind of eh. You can get kills with it, but people are like, why didn't you pick jugs? I'm so thirsty. I think she's C tier. She does have a really good cleanse, yes. Yes, she does. But I don't think she's that great. Oh, this is gonna give me some hate. I know exactly where I'm gonna put Li Ming. No one's gonna like it though. B. Hit me. Hit me with your hatred. I'm ready for it. Tell me why I'm wrong. Tell me. Tell me why I'm wrong. That Li Ming deserves A tier. Tell me. Yeah, he's not here. He's busy playing RuneScape. He doesn't know that I'm putting Li Ming here. C, D, you guys are trolling. You guys are trolling. I think B is just perfectly fine for Li Ming. Her skill shots can be blocked by minions and summons. She does fantastic damage. She's got great swing potential. You know, if people are low, she can just start pop, 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 and chain kills into a nice win. But she's not as versatile as like a Jaina or a Kael'thas or a Kel'Thuzad. Even though Kel'Thuzad is also a PvP mage, excuse me, like Li Ming, I just think Li Ming can be stopped a lot easier in more ways than the other mages. She's a lot of fun in ARAM. Tons of fun in ARAM. Because you don't have to worry about everything else. You could just fight all the time. Yeah. You're a B. B for Li Ming. Morales. Very team-dependent healer. Still very strong. You can get into games just like Genji, just like Hammer, where it's impossible for them to punish you as a solo queue Morales. But you can also get into games where you don't have a front line, and you have like, I don't know, Murky, Chromie, Junkrat, Genji. And it's like, wow, what's happening here? Who do I heal? I don't think she's... Maybe B? Maybe C? Maybe B or C? Maybe C or B? Oh, you are here, Wildfire. Oh my goodness. Uh-oh. Looking forward to those DMs. Morales, 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 Morales. You can ruin your team's day with your grenades. You can try to be like, oh, I'll push him into my team, and instead you just save the enemy. That kind of sucks. I was like B? Maybe B? Like a low B? Yeah, Morales can work, but I don't think it's fantastic. I do think Lucio's kind of fantastic. But also, what does Lucio do? He speeds up his team, he heals his team, he slows down the enemy, he wall rides. He just kind of shows up. Lucio Abathur is a lot of fun. That's kind of hilarious. But what does Lucio do? He works with his team. So either if you solo queue Lucio, you're basically going to be pocketing one person the entire time. Maybe. What am I saying here? Lucio's a team hero, and we're assuming very little coordination with this tier list. Decent CC mitigation. I hope your game is going well. I don't know. I don't think Lucio does that much. Honestly, I don't think he's terrible. But I don't see exactly how. Is he C tier? B tier? Is he C tier? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know about Lucio. I don't know about Lucio. I do know about Lunara though. And I know this is also going to get me some hate from some Lunara enjoyers. But solo queue Lunara is not fun. It is not fun. You die. You have 3 HP and you die. You can't get close. You can't follow up on your own things. You have to overcommit a whole bunch just to get kills. Lunara B, I don't know. I don't know about that. I think if you have a little bit of coordination, Lunara is fantastic. And okay, and you can run into situations where there's no healers or tanks. Okay, all right. I'm starting to come around. Starting to come around on that. The lack of tanks and healers in solo queue quick match can help Lunara a little bit. The heal talent? Do you know how much that heal does? Have you read that talent? Sorry. The healing talent on Lunara? I don't know about that. It heals like 3 damage. Because you shouldn't be taking damage with Lunara. And if you are taking chip damage, I don't know about that heal talent. She does have a really nice cleanse, though. I don't know about that healing talent. It's kind of a meme pick, I would say. I don't trust that healing talent on Lunara at all. I'd rather just not get hit. Which is easy to say, of course. It's easy to say, just don't get hit, stupid. But, you know, that's why I'm saying it. Maiev. I miss release Maiev. I miss picking Maiev and winning every single frickin' game. She can't do that anymore. Rest in peace. C. Not because she's bad. C. Not because she's bad. But because if you pick Maiev in solo queue, you're going to be the tank. And she's not equipped to do that. She has the jump, which makes her invul and can get out of crowd control and stuff like that. Or dodge crowd control, rather. She's got her teleport, which is fine. She's got that grab, which is also great. But you're not supposed to, like, be in the front with Maiev. Like, you gotta come in at weird angles and surprise people. Because she's still really squishy. And if she's focused, she doesn't have enough time to get a lot of Qs, to, like, keep chaining those Qs, like, pshing, 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 with all the daggers. She's gotta run, because she gets beat up. Artanis is in D, because if you solo queue Artanis in quick match, you're probably the only frontline. So that means you can't run off and go solo lane stuff, which a lot of Artanis like to do, myself included. And he doesn't have an escape. He needs his team to get him out. And I know you're going to be like, oh, well, just like dodge weird and then swap back to safety. Okay, that's super conditional. It relies on positioning and it relies on you hitting your stuff. That's not a reliable escape. Like, if you have to be like, all right, you stand here, I'm going to stand here, I'm going to do a crazy move, and I hope I hit you, and then only then will I be safe. Or you can just, pick Maiev and just E out, and then you're free. And that's why Artanis is in D, because he goes in and he stays in until he dies or the enemy dies. That's why Artanis is in D. Thank you for coming to my TED Talk. Where was I? Maiev? C tier. Malfurion. Easily punished. Probably the easiest to kill healer in the game. Honestly. Being aware of where the enemies are. Do you play Quick Match? Are we getting into the same games? Oh yeah, just be aware of where the enemy is. Okay. Yeah, people are definitely aware of where people are in Quick Match. Oh, sorry, I keep bumping my microphone. I got it in a new spot specifically for this stream, so I keep hitting it. Malfurion does really easily punished. Really needs a front line. Desperately needs a front line. His heal is kind of jank. Like, he puts regrowth on people, and then he hits people with Moonfire to make his heal burst up a little bit. And if you can get a good clump of heroes hit with Moonfire, it's actually a pretty decent burst. But you need to hit like 3 heroes. And I don't think the rest of his kit makes up for how easy he is to kill. You just dive him. He's got, especially if he doesn't have his root, Malfurion dies. Like, you just hit him. He can't heal himself fast enough. He can't get away. Maybe, if he has the silence, he can silence everybody around him and walk away. Same with the root. But I don't think he's that great solo queue. I think you're a masochist if you pick Malfurion as a solo queue healer. This is based on, like, kind of a little bit of both. Mostly, when I say fun, let's talk about winning for a second. I like winning. I think winning is fun. I want to win all of my games. I don't care if I'm playing against babies. I don't care if the enemy team are brand new. I want to win. Because those W's feed my ego. It feels good to win. I love it. But also, you can't win them all. And also, you can still have a good time if you're losing. It can still be fun. The difference is, I think you still need to have enough agency to feel like you could make a difference. Or you still need to be able to play the game while you're losing to have fun. Because if you're just CC locked forever and you can't do anything, that doesn't feel very good. But if you can, like, go off and do something else, affecting the map in some way or taking a camp, then I think it still feels pretty okay. So that's kind of what the tier list is. Yeah, sure, you can make your own tier list and post it on the Discord. Links all over the channel. Join up. We'll talk about heroes. It's fun. It's a good time. I think, yeah, I described what the tier list is. And I'm going to continue to describe what the tier list is over and over and over again. So like you can pick Anduin and you can have a good time. You might lose, but you'll be able to do so much. And there's always something to do with Anduin or Brightwing or Falstad or Gul'dan or Hogger or Joanna or Junkrat. You don't always have stuff to do with Chromie, with Artanis. You can go off into a lane and PvP a lot, or PvE a lot with Artanis. But if you're the solo queue frontline Artanis, you kind of need to do the job of a tank, which kind of sucks. He can be pretty tanky. This again, for everyone here. This isn't a hero's good or bad tier list. This is a I'm gonna join quick match by myself, and I want to have a good time, win or lose. Which heroes can I pick so that I can guarantee having a good time, or at least affect the game in some way? Mal'Ganis. Oh, Mal'Ganis strong, huh? He can be. What Mal'Ganis struggles with, which other tanks don't struggle with as much, is catching people. You kite Mal'Ganis. You kite him. You stay away and you shoot him. And then he struggles to do anything but take damage. He does need a healer. Mal'Ganis needs support. He's got a ton of crowd control. He's very strong. He can do a lot of damage. He's great at setting up for teams. A really fun combo with Mal'Ganis is Deckard and Kel'Thuzad. Deckard starts the fight with a slow. Mal'Ganis goes in and stuns and sleeps people. Kel'Thuzad murders the survivors. Very strong combination. Defeated by poke heroes. If poke heroes can stand back and just shoot Mal'Ganis and Kel'Thuzad, the combo's not as strong then. But he is a very solid, reliable tank. But, again, if you're solo queuing Mal'Ganis, what are the chances that you're going to be both the solo tank and have a healer? Having a healer? Not guaranteed. Solo tank? Pretty good chance. He does have really great self-sustain. He can do a nice little tricky trick with that Dark Conversion ultimate. He can be like, haha, surprise, it's you that has taken the damage, not me. Maybe he's not C tier, maybe he's B tier. You can struggle with Mal'Ganis. He can be bullied a little bit. But, like, overall, he's pretty okay. Oh, Malthael. I don't see Malthaels. I never see Malthael. I don't see him played in coordinated games. I don't see him played in quick match. I don't see this hero at all. I don't know anything about Malthael. But the fact that I don't see him lends me credence to put him in D tier. Yeah, I believe that. I believe Solo Q Malf is like, ugh. No, he's got self-sustain. He's got wave clear. He's got team fight. I don't know. I don't play Malthael. I know he's really squishy. I know he gets deleted. I know you don't want to play him as solo queue frontline Malthael. Good wave clear. Tank killer. Yeah, anti-tank when there's no tanks. Yeah. Fun in ARAM? I believe that. Yeah, I don't know about Malthael. I'm just going to keep him there. I'm just going to keep him there. This one's going to get me some trouble. A mage with a quest that can be lost on death and whose kit heavily involves team play, setting up with portals, preventing damage with shields, interrupting fights with time stop or polybomb. I think Medivh is really strong. I think he's a very, very, very strong hero. If you're in comms, I think Medivh is great in a team environment where you can be like, hey, look, I'm going to go over here, scout the team, and then set up portals, and then you jump in and murder everybody and then jump out, or you can help your team escape with shields and portals. However, how many times have you seen or hoped that someone on your team would take your portals? And they just don't. They just die. Solo queue Medivh is a struggle. But is it enough of a struggle to be in D tier? It is really high risk to solo queue Medivh. It is really high risk. I don't think the risk is worth it. I'm just going to keep him in D for now. Ah, Mei, my beloved. My current favorite tank. I like her because I just play her like a mage, and then I tank for my team by accident. She's like Blaze. I think Mei is a better version of Blaze, honestly. I'm open to be wrong about that. But I really like playing Mei. She can play solo queue heroes all day, every day. She's got a ton of different builds. Some are a little unconventional. I really like the one where you go self-healing and then slow people around you, and then that increases the amount of healing you take, so you just self-heal for days, and you're just in the fight slowing people, reducing their attack speed, and doing not the greatest amount of damage, but enough to be like, hey, Mei's hitting me, I wish she would stop. I think she's strong, but I'm a little biased. It's the only tank that I really enjoy playing. I'm gonna put her in A. That's for me. That's just for me. Thank you, Mei. Yeah, she can be. You can be useless with Mei. It's very easy to be useless. I tunnel a lot when I play her. I just start playing single player HOTS, and I'm like, ha ha ha, snowballs, ha ha ha, blizzard, ha 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 ha, and then my team is dead, and I'm like, oh shit. Anyways. Oh, the music stopped. One moment. I'm sorry. When did that happen? Okay. Where was I? Mephisto. Malthael is A or S. Well played, that is. Yeah, this game... This tier list is so nebulous. I'm not really accounting for skill in a lot of these, because if you're, like, good, you can... These will change. If you could one-trick a hero, this list doesn't matter. Because you can just perform at the best possible... You can perform at the limits of the hero's abilities, and, like, it's fine, whatever. This is just kind of like... It's more of a feeling than anything. You know? It's like a sense of the game. I've just put so many hours into the game. This is how I feel. Does that make it official? Yes. Mephisto. Very strong. Especially when you realize that his W is the same range as his auto attacks. So you can W, right-click on someone, and get a bunch of damage. He can poke really safely. Really safe on Mephisto. As safe as Junkrat, I would say. Maybe a little bit... No, about as safe as Junkrat. I don't think he's as useful as Junkrat. And you do need to PvP a lot. If you're PvEing as Mephisto, what are you doing? You need to be getting resets on your abilities. You need to be doing hero damage. It's not that you can't wave clear, you just shouldn't. He can still crank out the damage. That's the thing. He's got a lot of damage. Maybe B? Maybe A? Maybe B? A, B, A, B, A, B? Mephisto. Mephisto, where to put you? I don't know. Yeah. He can go from, like, behind his team up to with his team, or in front of his team, and then pop back behind his team and be totally safe. You can surprise people by, like, teleporting out of bushes and they don't know where you're gonna go back to. You can't really take camps. You don't take camps with Mephisto. Don't do that. That's just silly. See that Murky coming in? Yes, we'll see where that goes, won't we? I want to say, like, low A... I'm going to put him in B. And just think about it. You do have to be constantly going. Channel your hatred, you know? Channel your hatred as Mephisto, which makes sense. Muradin, thankfully, is much easier to place. He's going straight into A tier. He is just a solid pick all around. You heal yourself when you're out of combat. You got a really nice stun. You do great damage. Both ultimates are fantastic. If you just need a health potion, you just pick Avatar. If you need to knock people around, you pick Haymaker. You really can't go wrong with Muradin. He's not the best tank, but he's still really strong. And you can kind of play solo player HOTS with Muradin. He's really solid. He might not be the great at peeling for his team, but if you're solo queuing as Muradin, you don't really care. You're just gonna hit stuff with your hammers. It's whatever. Kill things. It's the best form of crowd control. Murky. Oh, Murky. Probably the definitive solo queue hero. I'm gonna put him in A. He's a bit of a troll pick, but you can just play Murky. You can just play Murky by yourself. You just do Murky things all game. What makes Mura not S? He's not as versatile a tank as, say, Johanna. Johanna can peel and escape and stuff. Muradin has that jump. He can engage. He can't really protect his team as well as some of the other tanks. I would say even Mei is better at protecting her team than Muradin is. So is Garrosh. So is Diablo. Well, maybe not Diablo, actually. I just think Muradin is like... You can play him on your own. You don't need support. You can just play the dwarf and have a good time. Murky, same with Murky. S tier, you think Murky's S tier? Ah, damn it, I'm sorry. You think Murky's S tier, huh? I can see why. I can see why Murky is S. But I don't feel why. You can just mindlessly do Murky things all game and have a totally fine experience. You do piss off your team, though, dying a whole bunch. And even if you're like, well, Murky can just go away with Invul. Like, yeah, okay. You gotta get to the late game. Kind of like with Abathur, you gotta get to the late game to have an effect in team fights as Murky. Can die a good amount. You can use his death as, like, fast travel. You can use his death as a global. It does require a little bit of running around, setting your egg up in advance. But you can put your egg in top lane and then go bottom lane. And then do a whole bunch of bullying of bottom lane. And then when they come down to deal with you, you die and now suddenly you're in the top lane. Like, haha, surprise. You can feed the enemy with Murky. I know he's not worth as much as a real hero, but killing him is still worth it. It's really strange. You have to walk this tightrope of babysitting the fish and being useful everywhere else. And you're always going to have to pay the Murky tax if you're playing against him. Like, he's just going to get buildings. There's nothing you can do. You can just slow him down. You can't stop him. I think what's keeping him out of S is he can be countered a lot easier than, like, Gul'dan. Gul'dan is strong all the time. Murky is stronger as the game goes on. Oh yeah, and you can counter his pufferfish. You kill his pufferfish, his damage falls off hard. I can keep him in A. I think he's counterable. But also, you can just fish all game. Nazeebo. Maybe Nazeebo's the quintessential quick match pick. Nazeebo. Nazeebo does what mages do. Nazeebo does what Asmo does, but better. Nazeebo is S tier. When I want to play quick match by myself, and I want to win, and I want to have a good time, and I don't care what people think of me, I pick Nazeebo. Because Nazeebo wins games. Nazeebo can win games even without Vile Infection. Nazeebo is strong all game. Just hit your spiders. Just hit your spiders, nerds. He can murk buildings with his zombies. He can create space with his frogs. If you position your frogs correctly, you can run away. Like, if people are chasing you, you throw your frogs out perpendicular, and you run away in an angle up in the direction the frogs are going, and the people will chase you and eat every single frog. Nazeebo does not need his quest to do great damage. I know everywhere it says that he's a late game hero, but Nazeebo is strong all game. He's gankable. But just don't get ganked. Ha 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 ha. Nazeebo is really chill. Really chill to play. He's fun. Not fun. And he actually does have self-sustain. I've really taken a liking to Blood Ritual lately. Instead of like the more health and more mana, you just heal whenever things die. It's whenever anything's die. It's not just minions. Summons die, walls die, anything dies. With your poison on it, you get healed. And I think it's like 14% health and mana per minion wave. I think that's how much you get. I think it's like 2%, and there's 7 minions in a wave. So each wave heals you for 15% of your health and mana. That's really strong. That's really strong. Don't tell Blizzard. I'll give it up. Nova. Nova is, I have to admit, Nova is my guilty pleasure. I also play Nova in Quick Match when I want to have a good time, and I just don't care what my team is doing. It's really easy to be useless on Nova. Like, you can just anchor your team to the bottom of the ocean floor when you play Nova. It's so easy to just lose games because you play Nova. However, sometimes you get no healer games. And sometimes those no healer games have no tanks. And so those games, you play Nova. And there's nothing the enemy can do. My most played hero is Azmodan. By far. He's my highest level. He's like pushing 400. He's up there. He's like 360 something, I think. And then the next highest is Kael'thas. Nova is good in Quick Match. Specifically because she can punish, or she can capitalize on the jankiness of matchmaking. And she can stomp noobs. She's a pub stomper. You can get camps with Bribe, which helps out a lot in her utility. She's great scout. But if the enemy has any sort of healing, she's kind of useless. You gotta surprise people, or you gotta support your assassin with ganks. I don't think Nova's that great, but I still love her. She's a lot of fun. But it's really easy to get screwed with Nova, and it's really easy to not do anything. If a Nova tells you they can carry, well, all I have to say is, show me, let me see it. I don't believe you. I don't think she's higher than C. She's got wave clear, but that's like late game. That's like level 10. Yeah, I don't think she's fantastic. You're staying in C, baby. Sorry. Orphea is Jaina plus. They both have long cooldown, high damage combo abilities. Where Jaina has slows, Orphea also has slows. Orphea has mobility, and Orphea has self-healing. I think Orphea is Jaina +1. Everything Jaina does, Orphea can do a little bit better. But you do need to be a better player on Orphea than Jaina to get the most out of her. You can use Orphea's skills to wave clear, but she is a PvP hero. As much as Jaina is. Orphea does have a 100-0 combo. Yeah, she does. If you can hit it. Lol. She can carry. Whenever, like, I always feel bad playing Orphea because it feels like cheating. You like, especially before they nerfed the like chomp build, where you like hit somebody, dive in, chomp, auto attack, chomp, auto attack, chomp, auto attack, and you just heal forever and you delete people. That felt disgusting. Unfortunately, Sigslit, she's here. She's here to stay. But she can also be bonked. You can bonk Orphea with a nice CC combo and she dies. Or she misses, and then she's useless. Kind of like the other Nexus hero. Where is Kira? Kind of like Kira. If Kira misses Forfia misses, they just don't do anything. Yeah. Jaina's buckshot, Orphea is slug. Yeah. Yeah, just don't miss, nerd. Just don't miss. Easy. Never miss. Oh, Probius. Another self-indulgent hero. I think he's got the fastest wave clear in the game. I'm pretty sure his W eats minion waves faster than any other ability from level 1 to the end of the game. He is incredibly squishy. He needs a lot of setup. He needs a lot. You need to be thinking 3 steps ahead of the team fight to get a bunch of damage, to get like good, reliable damage. He's really hard to play. I think the only thing that keeps him out of D tier is how fast he clears waves. If nobody comes into Probe's lane to fight him, he will destroy everything in the lane. He will eat the buildings for breakfast. Yum, 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 yum. Beep, beep, boop. Your buildings are dead. Leeming has 10 more HP than Probius? Hello, Zontar. Nice of you to be here. I think Probius is only C, kind of like how Nova is C tier. You can get good games, but you're not going to make them yourself. You can get lucky. And it's fun. Yeah. Kira. I see a lot of Kira hate, and I don't understand it. I've been asking people about her. She's one of my lowest played heroes. Mostly because when I played her, it also felt like cheating. Again, like Orphea, if you don't miss, you delete people. But don't miss. I know in higher ranks, in higher MMR, she kind of falls off. Because she's very easily punished. People just doink her with crowd control, and then she explodes. She's an amazing duelist. She has a ton of skill shots. She's got good escape. She's got good control. I don't have enough hours on her to make an accurate choice. Kind of like Tychus. Her and Tychus are, I think, my lowest played heroes. Yeah, I don't think she's S tier. Maybe A tier? In quick match? She does have massive self-sustain. Her wave clear isn't fantastic. Does her healing work off of PvE dots? Like if you poison up a minion wave and you hit heal, it doesn't work, does it? Very annoying, but not that OP. She does feel cheap, yeah. It does not feel good to get killed by Kira. Yeah, you're like, wow, I could have done nothing. She just kills me. You also can be solo queue Kira, or solo queue frontline. Solo frontline, bleh, if you queue by yourself as Kira. A tier? I want to say A. Maybe B? Maybe like a high B? Maybe like a low A? I'm going to put her in A. For now. For now. Ragnaros. One of my favorite heroes. Insane wave clear. Lava Wave gets you to the end game. I don't care how hard you push a lane, Ragnaros pushes one button and then everything is deleted. And the wave is fine. It's pushing in his direction. Or for his team again. The thing about Ragnaros is he's marked as a bruiser, and he's a melee hero, but secretly he's a mage. He's a mage with a really big hammer and a nice meaty auto attack. But his crowd control is ass. His survivability is ass. He's got good damage. That's kind of it. And, as I have a ton of experience with, if you solo queue Ragnaros, guess who's the tank? Guess who's the front line? You really don't want to be frontline Ragnaros. It sucks. Everyone is a better frontline than Ragnaros. Even Murky's a better frontline than Ragnaros. But his damage, his wave clear. C or B? C or B? C or B? Ragnaros tank is the worst feeling in the world, yes. It's awful. Solo queue Rag is a miserable experience. It's just terrible, terrible, terrible. But I don't think it's D terrible, and I'm starting to convince myself that it's not C bad. Maybe like a low B, maybe like bottom of B. We'll put him there for now. Raynor, baby's first hero. A tier. Easy A tier. You just right-click on things all game. You got a nice self-heal. Sure, you're squishy, but you got that, well, you got that self-heal. You got a little move speed. You can boost your minions to win the waves. You can PvE. You can PvP. It's not complicated. It's just man with gun. Very straightforward. You can solo queue Raynor and have a good time. You can keep yourself alive. You can keep your teammates alive. You can queue people away. You can heal yourself up. If you're good with the Banshee, it's like you're playing... Well, it's like you're playing Rexxar with a better scout, because the Banshee can go over walls and delay objectives better than Misha can. Where Misha will die, the Banshee can fly away. And you don't need mana to heal the Banshee either. It just heals itself. Rhaegar. Oh, okay. I see all those S's. I see all those S's for Rhaegar. And I know why. Because he's very strong in a team. But again, we're in solo queue quick match, and you might get solo tank Rhaegar. And while I think he's very strong, he's very capable of being solo tank actually. He doesn't do a lot of overhealing. He's got that totem to slow people down. He's got that shield for AoE damage. I don't think he's S. Specifically, because if you're solo queuing as Rhaegar in quick match, you're probably going to be pulling double duty as tank and heals. But he does everything really well. He's got okay damage. He's got okay healing. He can peel. He can run. He can do stuff. I don't think he's S tier. I think he's A tier. Rexxar. I used to play a lot of Rexxar, but I haven't recently. Very good in the solo lane. You are your own reinforcements. Having two bodies that can soak or control areas is really nice. You can bait people with Rexxar, stun them with Misha, and then chase them down. He's very mana hungry. He's a thirsty boy, this Rexxar. I think someone once described him to me as a mana management hero, and you're basically untouchable as long as you keep a fighting supply of mana on you at all times. He does surprising amounts of damage, just with his attacks. Between Misha and Rexxar, his auto attacks, they hit pretty hard. And if you can position yourself in a way where Rexxar himself isn't punished, you can get away with a lot. He's great at camps. He can solo bosses. His wave clear is decent. He's got a scout at level 1. That torch that has 100% uptime because it lasts for 20 seconds and has a 20-second cooldown. I think he's very strong. I don't think he's a strong solo tank. Maybe B? B tier? He's a good pick. You can pick him in solo queue and have a good time. B for Batman. Misha can be a stat gifter too, yes. You shouldn't be throwing your bear away for free. You can play Misha like another hero. You know, you don't have other heroes also can give stacks, but you can dodge with Misha. She's actually fairly mobile. Yeah, I think he's B tier. Samuro. Even with the nerfs. Even with the nerfs and the changes, Samuro is a S tier. Because you can't punish Samuro. He just gets away. He's a little rat bastard that escapes everything and never dies. You can solo tank as Samuro. It's weird. You gotta dodge stuff with your clones. You gotta do some janky movements with your wind walk. Samuro can push a lane. Samuro can take camps. Samuro can gank. He can surprise people. He doesn't actually have fantastic damage, but he cannot be stopped. You can't stop Quick Match Samuro. He just leaves. He's like, things are too hot. I'm gonna leave now. There's nothing you can do. Which is why when you do catch him, he's terminated with extreme prejudice. One of the few heroes that just gets murked on so hard when he makes a mistake, because everyone wants to kill him so bad. Yeah, he's an S tier. You can solo queue Quick Match Samuro and have a good time, always. He is not that much of a threat. Like, compared to other stealth heroes. Compared to other assassins and gankers, he's not that much of a threat. You gotta do a lot of stutter stepping, a lot of auto attack. You gotta be on your target quite often. Kind of like Illidan. You gotta have a good uptime on your target. But they can't catch you. Yeah, I know the fox is in the way. I don't have anywhere else to put it. This is that's just where the fox is gonna be. You know, this is where he's gonna be. Ooh. Oh, the green. Oh no. Oh, the green. I can't use any of my cool emojis or costumes. Shoot. That's annoying. Sonya. Sonya is a great hero to pick if you're new to the game, because it'll teach you exactly what not to do. She's very easy to stop. I think she's been power crept as well. Maybe she's been power crept more than Illidan, because she has less mobility. Her ultimates are both very strong. You have your oh, and you have your oh, and they're both very good. You can get more tanky, more damage, or you can just jump on people. She's not a good solo tank. She is absolutely not a good solo tank. Because you stop her from spinning, or you walk away, and then she's like, no, please, come back. No, I need to heal myself. Please, come back. Or you just doink her with some crowd control. She can take a bunch of damage. You can build her really tanky. She's good at tanking camps. I've never played her in ARAM. I'm too scared to play her in ARAM. I don't want to get punished. Yeah, she's like... she's alright. B? You think B? B for Sonya? She's pretty average. Yeah, she can definitely tank better than Rag. Yeah. Okay, I'm convinced. Sonya B tier. Stitches. Not the greatest tank. He does good damage. If you have a God Stitches in your game that can land all of his hooks, the game is over. If he can land his hooks. If he can land his hooks. Big if. He's not good at peeling for his team. You can have a pretty good time on your own, though. You can just play Stitches and not care about your team. And just, like, do wave clear and eat globes. And just roll around the map. I'm not good with Stitches. I don't know. He needs a team to work with him. Say, like, C tier, maybe. C tier? Is it C tier Stitches? I don't think he's fantastic in solo queue, but I think you can have okay games with him if you just ignore the cries of help from your team. If you can land your hooks and not care what your team thinks, I think you'll have a good time on Stitches. He can wave clear pretty well. He does okay damage. Like, whatever. Stukov. Ah, this was my ranked hero. This was what I climbed all the way up to a tippy top of Diamond with Stukov in solo queue ranked. I think Stukov is fantastically strong. I think he excels more with a coordinated team. Because when I was playing ranked with Stukov, I'd be pinging my cooldowns all the time. I'd be like, I only have a small heal right now. I have a big heal now. We can take a fight. I only have a small heal, big heal, small heal, big heal. I don't have any heals. I don't have any cooldowns. Stop engaging. Please. Please help. Don't engage. I don't have any abilities. They're all on cooldown. And that really only works if I can yell at my team, you know? Like, if they're not paying attention to my cooldowns, that's my job. And they're busy doing whatever the hell they're doing, so I don't... But still, his kit is just ridiculously powerful. Even though Stukov is a very team-heavy hero, I think his kit alone is strong enough to put him up into A tier. Maybe high B tier. Because you also might be solo tank Stukov, and that kind of sucks. Maybe like low A, high B. I'm going to put him in A for now. Because of my own personal preferences. Oh. This bitch. This bitch. This. And we're moving on. Tassadar. Tassadar needs a frontline. Desperately. He is much more dangerous. Or, he's in much more danger than all the other mages. Especially since his rework. He does really good long-range damage. Which I would actually say he's better at long-range damage than Azmodan, because it's more consistent. His ults are good. He's got an auto-attack build. He's really squishy. He's really squishy. Until you get your defensives, you gotta play real safe with Tassadar. Sylvanas is in her own tier because of Shadowlands. She knows what she did. I don't care about you. I don't ever want to see you again. We're not going to talk about Sylvanas. Butcher. Oh boy. Oh, Butcher. This one's spicy. I don't think Butcher's a bad hero. I think he's misunderstood. I think he's a walking engage. Like a tactical missile. Butcher goes in, your team goes with him. Whether he lives or dies doesn't matter, as long as your team wins the fight. Butcher will start the fight. Butcher will end the fight. But he needs his team to capitalize on the openings that he makes. No, for those of you, if you're new here, if you've just joined, this tier list is a solo queue quick match heroes tier list. These heroes are ranked based on how good of a time you'll have in an uncoordinated environment. If you just go into the game and you start up a quick match and you're by yourself and you pick these heroes, generally, the ones at the top of the list, you'll have a better time with, win or lose. You'll be able to do more. You'll be safer. You'll have more fun, I think, anyways. Because if this was like a strength tier list, if this was a ranked tier list on how good heroes are in a team, Medivh would be much higher. Kharazim would be much higher. Auriel would be much higher. Greymane would be much higher. Maiev would be much higher. Etc. The list goes on. But Butcher. Butcher. Oops. keep knocking that. I'm sorry. C tier, I think. Because he needs his team. It's still pretty good, Selenial. And there might be a revival. There are rumors abuzz that it is going on Game Pass. Unconfirmed rumors. This is all hearsay. It's not confirmed. HOTS might be coming to Game Pass. So I gotta start cranking out more content just in case. Ah! D tier is generous for Butcher? I don't think he's B tier solo queue. Look, like, he can get into those no-tank games and stomp really hard. I don't think you'll have a good time, though. I think people will flame you. I think people will judge your every move. Because, hot take, you gotta get your meat, but I don't think you need your meat to be an effective Butcher. All I think you gotta do is force trades. That's all you have to do. You go in with no meat, or you hit the 10-minute mark, you don't have any meat, congratulations, you're now a walking engage. That's what you are. You are what starts the fight, you eat all of the cooldowns, and then your team cleans up and flames you for dying. That's how you play Butcher. They're like, why did you die, stupid? And you're like, I ate all of their cooldowns. I ate every single ultimate. I ate all of their abilities, and you killed them. We won the fight. Stop flaming me. That's how you play Butcher. He's very risky. I don't think he's worth playing in solo queue. I mean, he can be fun. He can be fun, but like, you get a lot of heat. Oh, goodness gracious, Vikings. Oh no. Another skill hero. I think Vikings can carry incredibly hard if you know what you're doing. I don't think a lot of Vikings know what they're doing. I kind of want to put the Vikings in the same tier as Abathur. Yeah, Butcher's misunderstood. I like him. But he requires... He has his place. Let's just leave it at that. I kind of want to put Vikings in the same tier as Abathur because of how similar they can play. Abathur is a lot more team supporty, whereas the Vikings are a lot more play the map. You can do a lot of silly things with the Vikings. I don't play them enough to have like a good read on them, but I've seen a lot of good Viking players. And if a team with Vikings gets an XP lead early, the game is basically over. Because the Vikings are soaking every single lane, while the other 4 players are deathballing, and there's just no way to catch up. Like, they just snowball so friggin' hard. When it happens. I think Dragonshire, this is completely unrelated, I think Dragonshire is the best Vikings map. By far. Maybe Garden, but I think Dragonshire is the best Vikings map. Yeah, Viking is S in my heart too. If you can play Vikings well, you can just win every game. Right? So like, that's stupid. There's no, you can't be punished, really. You have all infinite revives with that one ultimate, which can also be used as a global. You can zip your Vikings across the map everywhere. Longboat Raid is kind of a meme. I don't really see people take it seriously. Even in Quick Match. Like, maybe if you're on Braxis and you need all the Vikings together and you need to do a team fight, but even then, being able to resurrect your Vikings for free, as long as one is alive, that's really strong. Why would you ever pick Longboat Raid? It also stuns you when it gets destroyed. That's just silly. It lines you up for kills. For being killed. Yes, good. Good. I was wondering how well this stream would go. I was curious. I'm interested to look at the analytics at the end. Thrall. S. Easy S tier. You can play Thrall anywhere. He's not the best at everything, but he's really good at everything. He's the king of quests. I think he's got a quest on every talent tier. I might be mistaken. He's got a lot of quests. He does a ton of damage. He's got great self-sustain. You can build him super tanky. Thrall can get physical armor. Thrall can get spell armor. Thrall's got self-heals. You can put more self-heals on Thrall. He's got a teleport at level 20. He can get shields on Earthquake, and I mean, Earthquake is fine. You don't always take Earthquake, but you can get more shields. Thrall can do it all. Very strong hero. Hard to go wrong with him. He doesn't have a quest on 13? There you go. Well, that's his defensive tier, so that makes sense. He's very strong. You can't go wrong with Thrall. He's very fun. You can stand back and poke people with lightning all game. You can dive in onto the tanks with Wolf. You can catch people with Wolf. You're pretty speedy with Wind Fury. It's not the greatest mobility skill, but it does good enough. It's fine. Very strong hero. Play Thrall. Everyone should play more Thrall. Everyone should play more Thrall. If you want to be good at heroes, play Thrall. He'll teach you everything. Everything in Thrall. Play Thrall. Tracer. I want to put her with Genji. A tier. Because, like a lot of heroes in A tier, or at least with Genji, you can run into situations where you're not punished. You can just run around, shoot people for free, and play games all day, never punished. Her wave clear is kind of ass, although I do see from time to time wave clear tracers which have crazy high siege damage, but they're not PvPing. They're just soaking lanes because they have to, because it's quick match and you got no wave clear, and so now tracer is going to wave clear. It happens. I've seen it happen. But ideally, you'll want to be running people down. She's not S tier, because as soon as someone realizes they can put their feet down and shoot her, then Tracer's like, oh no, no, you're not supposed to shoot me. No, please don't shoot me. Just stand and fight, and Tracer has a hard time. It's when you're running away, when you fear for your life because Tracer is gunning you down. That's when she kills you. You need to stand and fight. Still really strong. Tychus. Where Orphea is Jaina plus, I think Tychus is Raynor plus. He's got a much higher skill ceiling? Skill floor? Skill ceiling? It takes more skill to play Tychus than it does Raynor, because you can't stutter step with Tychus. He's got wave clear on his Q, which is kind of weird. It aims weird. You move around weird. You got to choose your targets with it. You can delete tanks with your trait. He just melts them. Just destroys them. The Garrosh that I play with has a friend who's a Tychus one-trick, and they just run around and kill things by themselves. It's kind of hilarious to see. He's got that grenade for disruption and to finish people off with the last little burst of damage. He's got a dash so he can dodge stuff. And his ultimates. Tychus's ultimates. Keep in mind, I don't play a lot of Tychus, but I spend a lot of time with one. The level 999 Tychus that I play with always picks Laser Drill. Always. He never, ever picks Odin. And he laughs at other Tychuses that pick Odin. Because the Laser Drill is focused DPS on target. It's an extra body, so you can push buildings with it. It'll soak tower shots. And the level 20 ramps up to crazy damage. If you ignore the laser, it disintegrates people. Whereas the Odin gets rid of his minigun and gives him a bunch of range and AoE damage. Yes. A to S. I would agree with Tychus A to S. You know what? Maybe. He's very strong. And I think he's actually really slept on. But can you solo queue Tychus and have a good time? If there's no tanks or healers, does Tychus still perform well? Can you still have fun with him? I think that keeps him in A tier. It's not me. It's not my opinion. It's it's the Tychus I play with. Go after him. Stay away from me. I didn't say those words. It's not me, I swear. Tyrael. Huh. I don't know. He's got great utility. He can kill people with Judgment. Solo tank Tyrael? That kind of sucks. It's very mana hungry. He does a lot of damage. Tyrael does more damage than you think. If you actually look at his stats and like the amount of buffs that he can give himself and his team, Tyrael does a lot of damage. He can really tunnel in on a hero and make their lives miserable. He's fast, he hits hard, he hits fast, and he can hit harder and faster. And he can teleport. But as a solo tank, not so great. Yeah. And you can't really do anything. You can't wave clear that well. Kind of sucks. Can't really take camps. You kind of just want to fight all the time. Just like poke around the enemy team and try to like start trouble. I'd say C. Not because he's weak, but because other heroes can do more. Yeah, you gotta get good smites. Ooh, Tyrande. Oh, goodness gracious. Tyrande, secretly one of the strongest healers in the game. Does a ton of damage. Absolutely busted damage. Great CC. You don't see a lot of her because she's really hard to play. Very, very hard to play. Easily punished. Needs her team. Great follow-up. The heals are okay. She's got they're better than you think. Because the reset on her Moonlight healing goes off whenever she deals damage, not just when she auto attacks. So you hit people with your stun and you get the cooldown reduction. You hit people with the owl and you get cooldown reduction. You hit people with Starfall and you get cooldown reduction. You hit an entire team with Starfall, you have infinite heals. But people just think that it resets on auto attack. It doesn't. It resets whenever she deals damage. But she's really hard to play. She's really hard to play. Is she D hard to play? Like solo queue D? The owl bug? What's the owl bug? What is the owl bug? Tell me what the owl bug is before I place this hero. Melee Tyrande? What? What is happening? There's an owl bug? She had a melee build? What is going on here? Somebody explain it to me. Yeah, she's just there for now. I'm waiting for words to show up so that I can understand why. Up here at the top of the map or something? Owl bug? Yeah, okay. I would agree with that. Yeah, I don't know. Melee build? Did you mean Tyrael? Did you mean Tyrael? Melee Tyrande. I don't know what you're talking about. Melee build in like 2018. Yeah. I'll have to look that up. Uther. Wacky words about Tyrande. She's really strong. But again, like a lot of heroes that are low on this list, you need a team. You need to set her up. She needs help. Tyrande's very strong. Uther. Uther is also very strong. But there are a lot of times when you need healing and Uther just can't provide it. Because he is a burst preventer rather than a main healer. Yeah. Uther's B, for sure. He can actually main tank for his team. So you can solo queue Uther and do just fine if you're the only frontline. Because all of your heals heal yourself anyways. So it doesn't even matter. And he's got good stuns. He's tanky with armor. He's got fantastic ultimates. But he works better in a team that understands him. Because he's not going to be able to heal through crazy sustained poke damage. But, he does it where it counts. Valeera. Valeera is a pub stomper. And absolutely irrelevant if there's an Abathur. If there's an Abathur and he puts out mines, Valeera has a really bad day. If Valeera is the solo tank, she can do it. You can be kind of tanky with her and really dodgy, but she has a really bad time. She's got a block talent. She's got unstoppable spell armor at level 10. She's got the whoosh, the smoke grenade. You go poof, whoosh, and you can fight people in the smoke grenade with armor. Damn it, I keep hitting it. I'm sorry. But and she can stomp pubs. She doesn't have any mana, which is nice. She can just play all the time. She needs a healer. Yeah, I would say that she's better at setting up kills than Nova. It's tough. Valeera's tough. Because I'm sure we've all had a game with a really annoying Valeera that's always where she needs to be stunning things, silencing things, and getting kills. But I've played a lot of Valeera in solo queue quick match, and it's a real coin flip whether or not you have a decent game. Valeera in solo queue is A. I don't know. Because Nova can poke from safety. Valeera's got to get in there. Valeera has to get up front and smack things. And if you're the only melee, that's really hard. And if you're the only melee, and you play like you're the only melee, and you play like you're solo melee Valeera, you're going to be waiting for your team to get good damage on, or trying to stop the enemy team from engaging on your team. I don't know if solo queue Valeera is A. I don't think so. I think B is stretching it. I think maybe she's a high C tier. I don't think she's... I don't know. If I'm being totally honest. Through my experience and what I've seen, I don't think so. I've seen good Valeeras. But I've seen a lot of bad ones. Oh, would you look at that? It's the only hyper carry in the game. But is she S tier? Is she S tier? It's pretty close. She can get bonked pretty hard. She blows up. She doesn't have that many hit points. Valeera does have a lot of get out of jail free cards. Vala, I'm torn. I want to say S. I want to. And I think I'm going to. Her damage is crazy. A lot of burst. A lot of range. A lot of sustain. Very squishy, but very dodgy. And fast. You can merc camp. You can kill bosses by yourself. You can solo bosses with Vala if you know what you're doing. At least you can solo the ones in Alterac Pass. Yeah, I think that's a good S. She's really strong. You can play her and have a good time even if there's no healer because you just do so much damage that if someone tries to jump you, you just shoot them and they're like, ow, 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 why? I regret my choices. Varian. I think that Varian is A tier. Because, let's be honest here, no matter what you pick at level 4, you're going to get flamed. Someone's going to think that you made the wrong decision. So you might as well just play your own game anyways. Twin Blades is totally fine. Sometimes. But most of the time, if you're just playing to have fun, Twin Blades is fine. Don't Twin Blades into Arthas, though. I will judge you if you Twin Blades into Arthas. Colossus Smash is great. Taunt is great. You can do just as much damage with Taunt build. If you take Overpower at level 1, you can do just as much damage with Taunt as you can with Twin Blades. It's like the same damage. Because they're hitting you and your Overpower is being reset when you block stuff. So you just keep hitting them with an overpowered auto attack. Whack, 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 whack. Ah, very strong. And he can kind of handle himself. He doesn't have great wave clear. But Varian can handle himself. Where Garrosh needs his horde, Varian does not need the alliance. Shattering Throw? Use it on Phoenix. Use it on Joanna. They die. His best level 1? No, I'm not going to diss High King's Quest. I think all of his level 1s are fine. Though, if you do pick Taunt, I think you should go Overpower. Depending on what heroes you're against. If you're like taunting a Tracer, go Overpower, for sure. If you're against a Tychus, Overpower. If you're against a Gul'dan, maybe Lion's Fang or whatever it's called. Yeah, Varian just picks someone out to die, and then they do. Very strong hero. Gets you a lot of hate, no matter what your decisions are. It's pretty easy to make mistakes on Varian, but, you know, he's really strong. Whitemane. I don't actually play a lot of Whitemane, so I don't know. 1 second here. Let me get the soundtrack back running. There we go. There we go. Whitemane. Anti-dive hero. Not great at healing poke damage, because she's got to be up there hitting things with her abilities to trigger the Zeal healing. Needs her team, in that case. She can be hilarious, because she never dies. If she gets jumped, she Zeals herself, and then hits the entire enemy team, and they've wasted all their cooldowns, and surprise, my team still has my cooldowns. But the keyword being team. I don't know if she's great as a solo queue healer. Help me out here. Help me out here, chat. I don't know enough about Whitemane in solo queue. She can 1v1 some assassins. She requires a lot that solo queue buddies can't offer. She can make plays. If she has mana, isn't silence, people are gonna die. Entire mana bar. Ugh. I had an ARAM where everyone was Whitemane. It was torture. Nobody died. I just left. Like 20 minutes. I'm like, I'm not doing this anymore. Can't go Whitemane without a buddy. The hardest... okay, well, you know, we'll put her in B for now. The hardest hero to master in S tier? We're not there yet. It's coming. Get ready. Zul. Zul suffers a lot of the same problems Ragnaros has. Zul has no escape. Zul can be very tanky with his shield, with his attack damage debuffs, with his skeleton heals. Zul can push a lane really, really hard. I think he matches Zagara for how hard he can push a lane early game. His root is really nice. It's very slow, very loud, very obvious. It's a big shoot here, guys. I've got someone in a root. Please pay attention. I hope you can hear this and see where he's going, because it's revealed. Zul has a nice shoot here button on his action bar. So that can help with coordination. He struggles taking camps. He's got good area denial. I think he's ganked more than other lane pushers, because he has no mobility. I don't even think he has an unstoppable. I think he's just always running around with his feats. But his wave clear is really strong. And if you're up against a lot of melee heroes, which, let's be honest, you're probably not because you're playing quick match, but if you are, he's a right menace, because he slows their attack speed, he lowers their damage, he farts everywhere. You can do camps with W build. Solid A? I don't think Zul's an A tier. I think he's a solid B tier. Not bottom of B, but we'll get to that later. Oh yeah, so we should rank these all by voice actors. I don't think Zul is bad. You can have a pretty good time with him solo queue. He can solo tank. I think he's high B tier. It doesn't feel right to put him in A tier. It doesn't feel right. He's not as impactful, I would say. I don't think he's impactful enough. I think he's just fine. Yeah, he needs talents. Rel. I don't play enough Rel to know much about her. I don't see a lot of Rels. I see like one Rel. He's in the chat right now. I think she's just kind of fine. I think she's just okay. She can do a lot of things just fine. She's got a really sneaky heal. She can function as like an off healer, which is nice. You can surprise people with the amount of sustain she puts out. She's got good damage. She's good at dueling. She can be interrupted with crowd control. She has way more HP than you think she does. I have seen the light of that holy ground. The holy ground that gives her 50 armor. That is ridiculous. Even towers can't punch through her armor because they can only get rid of what? I think like 20 or 30% armor, and she gets 50 armor. Yeah, I think Rel is slept on because she's harder to play. I think she could easily be bumped up, you know, if more people played her. If we saw more, if we had more data. She can get bullied, but she does her fair share of bullying as well. A tier for solo laning? Chen is as good as Rel. Chen doesn't have a stun. Rel's got a stun. It is conditional. You gotta hit him into a wall. I don't know Chen and Rel, to be perfectly honest. I don't play them. I don't see them very often. I've never met a Rel. That's an issue. I've never fought against her. Same with Chen. I don't know. I think they're probably pretty equivalent. Maybe Rel is low B and Chen is high C. Maybe Chen is low B and Rel is high C. I don't know. I just don't see them. You know, like, when do these heroes show up? Like, never. You get your one tricks, and that's pretty much it. We're in Korea? Well, yeah, I don't play on the Korean servers, so I don't know. Again, this is not like a power list. This is a, I'm gonna play heroes in solo queue, and I want to have a good time. Which hero should I pick? Kind of deal. Is that you, Funky? Is that you, Funky Brewster? Are you here? Are you in the chat, Funky? I need your wisdom. Ah, yeah, okay. So, like, be honest with me. I know you're max level Chen. And I know it's like, all you play is Chen. Do you think, in the average player's hands, that if you pick Chen every game, you'll be able to both have an impact and have a good time? Win or lose? Like, what's his wave clear like? What's his camping like? I don't know. I don't play Chen. I was waiting for you to get here, honestly. Well, while you type up your essay, let's talk about Zagara. Zagara, I think, has the strongest early game 1v1 in Heroes of the Storm, which falls off incredibly fast. She starts very strong, and as the game goes on, Zagara gets weaker and weaker. I know she's got that talent at level 16 that makes all of her minions do percent damage, and that is crazy strong in ARAM, but we're not talking about ARAM. And everybody else also gets a power spike at 16. Plus, you can't target what your roaches are shooting at. You can put them where you want them, and hopefully they hit the targets that you want, but it's up to chance, as far as I know. I think after level 7, Zagara starts to fall off a cliff. So you better get that tower early. She provides a ton of vision for her team. If you can place your creep in weird spots, like just outside of the bush, or just in the middle of the lane where the minions aren't, you can get creep across the whole map. Especially if the enemy team doesn't start clearing your creep early. If you can just infest the place, just get the creep around the edges of where you're fighting, and then drop 3 tumors in the middle of everything, and now suddenly the entire lane is creep, and no one knows where to shoot because there's more creep than you have computer screen. It's fantastic. You see everything. You're so fast. You can put creep down in rotation paths to scout for your team. You can put it on objectives to see what's going on. You can have just fine games with Zagara. Just fine. Just okay. Get your push in early, and it'll be better for you later. I made this list specifically for you. I got all 2. This one is specifically targeted at you. This is for beating me in video games for 2 weeks straight. Yeah, how do you like that? See, I made a list and I insulted all your heroes. How do you like that, huh? Yeah, that's what I thought. Zarya. Kinda needs a team. I only play her in ARAM, so I don't know about Zarya in Quick Match. But she doesn't strike me as a hero that can do well on her own. D tier? C tier? D tier? C tier? Kind of like Medivh. Needs shields. Yes, a good probe. A good one. B for Zarya. Tell me why. Why is Zarya B? Tell me. I need to know. I only play her in ARAM, so I don't know. I need help. I need convincing. Make your case for Zarya, please. Cho'Gall is up so high because he's a meme. You can't solo queue as Cho'Gall, but he's just busted. He's so broken. You get to level 20 of Cho'Gall, you just win the game. It's not even fair. You need to have a team to counter him. And in Quick Match, that's not likely to happen. Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to keep using this fox. My sister made it for me as a joke for my birthday. And I figured, well, I don't want to have just the screen up. And I do have a camera, but I'm a little disheveled. I look like a homeless man, so I'm not going to put myself on camera until I'm a little groomed up, if I'm being totally honest. So might as well have the fox. Might as well put it to use. The more you get hit, the better you do. Auto attack on black hearts bait the chest. Okay, but that's one map. When I made... I need more than one example. When I made that Gul'dan video, and I was like, there's only one ultimate, a friend of mine messaged me, and he's like, no, actually, Reign of Destruction is good if you use it on this map, in this scenario, with this team comp, against these heroes. And I'm like, well, you're really reaching for that argument, don't you think? You're really reaching when you can just pick fear and win the team fight. Where'd the people that say Zarya is good go? I want to know. I want to know why. Does she make an impact? I didn't ask. I didn't ask if he picks Fear. Does she... Does she have an impact in games? Does she, like, can she do good wave clear? Can she take camps? Can she solo lane? Can she duel? I know she's got some really good cleanse potential with her shields. It's always funny in ARAM to go up against a Kel'Thuzad and just negate his entire kit with Zarya. It's hilarious. So funny. It's like, oh, I can shield 2 people and give them a cleanse. Kel'Thuzad's like, no. Why would you do this? People feed energy in solo queue. Soak massive damage utility. I was gonna put her in C tier. But I think I'll put her in B tier. I don't know. I don't know enough about Zarya. I'm sorry, Zarya mains. I don't know enough about Zarya. Mini Mosh. The thing about Grav Bomb is you can use a movement ability to get out of it. It doesn't silence you at level 10. At level 20, there's the upgrade that silences. But you can like Vala E out of it. You can Tychus E out of it. You can Tracer Q out of it. You can get out of the Zarya ult. Yeah, and she does need a team. I was going to put her in C, but we'll keep her in B. Remember, when you asked me what the hardest hero to play in S tier is? Zeratul. Zeratul can... He's just... Where do I even start? He does crazy damage. He's super fast. He's super mobile. He can shut down teams with Void Prison. He can delete people with Might of the Nerazim. He has a million teleports. You can... All you have to do is, like... You just put the fear of God in them, and then you walk around their backline. You don't even have to do anything. You just have to be behind the enemy team. And then the enemy team's like, Zeratul's here. But what do we do? Do we fight the team, or do we deal with Zeratul? What do we do? He's just busted. He's so strong. If you can play Zeratul, you're going to have a fantastic time every game. I don't even care if they have crowd control. You'll just do great. He has wave clear. He can take camps. His damage is so high. His mobility is ridiculous. Ugh. Yeah. Find yourself a good Zeratul player and make them your friend. Just watch them dance. It's a thing of beauty. That being said, not everyone's a fantastic Zeratul player. Still, I think the power of his kit more than warrants the S pick for Zeratul. Get good at Zeratul and you're a monster. Yeah. He's just absolutely crazy. Ugh, I wish I could be a good Zeratul. Yeah. Yeah, I played with Yuki before. Oh, are we almost done? It's almost over, guys. We've almost got all the heroes in the list. Zul'jin. A tier. Very easy to play solo, Zul'jin is. You have self-healing. You're designed to take damage, so you got quite a bit of hit points for a ranged assassin. You do more damage as you take damage, which is pretty nice. Tazdingo forces trades. I don't think he's S tier, because he's a PvP hero, and if you're caught PvEing, you're going to fall behind in damage. But if you get ahead on damage, he's really oppressive. We do have to sort each tier. Zul'jin's very strong. And you can pick him without any regard to what your team is going to get in quick match. You can just play him wherever. He's not S tier, but he is A tier. He hits very hard. Guillotine is also really strong. But if we're, like, again, if we're in quick match and you don't have anyone covering for you, having that button that is just like, alright, now we both die, instead of just dying, or having a button that lets you get away with like 1 HP, is very, 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 very strong. You're so self-reliant. If you can get away with Guillotine, it's fantastic. Great, great finisher, great poke. Short cooldown for an ultimate. But if all you have to rely on is yourself, Tazdingo is the way to go. Alright. That's all the heroes. Now to sort them. Top spot. Easy pick. Goes to Gul'dan. Gul'dan is the hero of heroes. With the self-sustain, the wave clear, the damage, the escape at level 20, the game-winning ultimate, the suck. Gul'dan, just play Gul'dan. You'll do fine. You can play him on your own. You don't even have to care what your team does. If they're off dying by themselves, you can just go clear waves or take camps. If no one's getting any kills, you just waddle up to the fight and you're like, alright, I'll do it myself, and you kill people. Gul'dan's strong. Minion tier list. Get out of here. Behind Gul'dan, for strength, I would say is Zeratul. Again, it's very skill-based, but Zeratul's just busted, man. He's just crazy. So strong. Behind Zeratul. Okay, well, you know, 2's not bad. That's pretty good. We're on the same page, basically. Behind Zeratul. I would say Brightwing or Thrall. Or Vala. Brightwing, Thrall, or Vala, or Anduin. One of these four. Who? Who's behind Zera? Maybe Brightwing? No. Maybe Thrall? No. Well, maybe these are all in the same spot. Maybe these four are all in third place. I kind of think all Anduin, Brightwing, Vala, and Thrall are all in third place behind Zeratul. And then Cho'Gall, because Cho'Gall is broken. Gul'dan is the God King of solo queue. After Cho'Gall, I would put Nazeebo, and then Falstad, and Hoger. These are all in the same place. Just because one is in front of the other doesn't necessarily mean they're not equivalent in terms of, I guess, power, let's say. Alright, thanks for coming. Yeah, we're just going to go over these really quick. Not going to think too much about it. Just get a good feeling of them. Samuro, bottom of S, for sure. I think it goes Gul'dan, Zera, these four, Cho'Gall, these five, and then Samuro. Is Gall better than Cho? No, because Cho is driving. So that means Cho has the responsibility, so Cho gets all of the glory. A tier. A tier. I would say Dahaka, Genji, and Alarak are in the top of A tier. Followed closely by Varian. And then Samuro is an S tier because he can do a lot on the map, and he's really hard to punish. He's not very threatening on his own. Kill-wise, you gotta have a lot of uptime with your auto attacks on people to do decent damage. But you can clear waves, you can get camps, you can be in other places where you can have an effect on the match. Maybe Phoenix and Imperius? Garrosh and Diablo are together. Who's at the bottom? Who's at the bottom of A? I think Arthas is actually higher than these guys. I think Myrddin is up there with Arthas. I think Myrddin is behind. Yes. Okay. Now we're ordering it in strength just based on my opinion. All the mages should be together. All the mages should be right smack together. I think Kel'Thuzad should be second at least. Deckard? Deckard is here. Rhaegar. Here. Phoenix is lower. May. Up with Arthas. But behind Imperius. Orphea Murky? Jimmy's pretty easy. The best hero in the game? Gul'dan. Gul'dan is the best hero in the game. Very easy to play. Very easy to get tangible effects out of him. He's just brain dead easy. Although, if I had to pick like a personal favorite, probably Thrall, because Thrall can do it all. But Gul'dan is unquestionably the king of heroes. If you can play Gul'dan well, you'll just carry all of your games. It's not even funny. The suck build is popular right now. If you go W build, that's very popular with Gul'dan. But anything is fine. Yeah, just go Fear at 10. Stukov is lower in A tier because he relies on his team so much. Tracer? Above Murky. Above the mages? I don't know. She's with the mages. She can kill the mages, but the mages can also kill Tracer. The mages can kill Tracer easier than they can kill Genji. Tychus needs to go higher. I think that looks good. What do you think of this A tier? What do you think of this? Keeping in mind that some of them are like grouped together, like Alarak, Dahaka, Genji, they're all together. I'd say Varian and Myrddin are together. I'd say these four are together. I'd say these four are together. Ooh, Alexstrasza. Nope. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Ooh, B tier. Well, let's just put you up there. B. Blaze? Put Murky down with Sylvanas. The banished tier. Lucio, yeah. I think these five are together. Well, there's only one person on my Smash or Pass list, and it's Smash, and it's Azmodan. Cassia. Right. What about Cassia? I think she's fine there. I think these are fine. These are fine. Rexxar a little higher, maybe? Rexxar above Gazlowe. This guy a little higher, too. Leoric higher. Maybe like under Ragnaros. Not because Ragnaros is a better front line, but because Ragnaros has better wave clear. Because they kind of occupy the same niche. Like, they both sit... Well, Ragnaros can teamfight like crazy. He's like a mage. And that speed that he can put on people is great support, especially for Garrosh. I like running Reg with Garrosh because I can just fuck off and clear lanes, and then Garrosh gets a speed boost when I'm around, which he really likes. I think they're like equivalent. Leoric does have an escape. That's true. I would say that these are the same. They're on the same tier. Reg is in front because I like Reg more, but they're the same. Uther should go a little higher. Uther should go right above Mal'Ganis, I think. Just barely. Not really, but just barely. Let's put you here too. Let's move you up as well. I want Zagara and Sonya to be together. What do you think of this? What do you think of this B tier? Looks good, looks good. Alright. Moving on. Vikings should be bottom of B. Zag above Vikings. That's true. That's true. Blaze should be higher. Yeah, I had trouble putting Blaze. Because he can solo tank. And he can wave clear, but if you're wave clearing, you should be doing something else if you're the only tank. You should be tanking. You should be matching the front line at least. I think Li Ming and Blaze are just like, just on the cusp of A tier. Like, just right smack in between A and B tiers. That's where Li Ming and Blaze live. Artanis is D tier, because he doesn't run away. We'll get into Artanis. I'll get into Artanis way down there when we get down there. I'll explain it again. Because D tier, these heroes aren't necessarily bad. Maybe Malthael. But these heroes aren't bad. You would think, but there's also players on the other team, and they might not necessarily let you get away. You know? Like, it's not total one person agency sort of question. Sometimes they grab you and there's nothing you can do. Or you might be out of position and you not know that you're out of position for like 30 seconds, and then all of a sudden you're surrounded. So, like, you could be just fine doing like a 1v1, and then all of a sudden, oh, 3 people show up and you're like, oh shoot, I should have ran away 10 seconds ago. But I'm getting distracted. I think the pandas operate in the top of C tier. I don't know enough about Chen. And I'm sure Brewster has his opinions. But this is my list. Make your own. Nyah! Let's see. D.Va? I don't know about D.Va. Greymane a little higher. Greymane, Illidan, and Maiev together. These 3. These 4. Butcher and Ana. Butcher, Ana, and Stitches. Tassadar goes up, Anna goes down. I can kind of see that. I can kind of see they're like equivalent. They're pretty close, I would say. This looks fine. Wait. This looks better. Wait. This looks better. Jaina is higher? If I move Jaina, I'm going to move all the mages, because they're all kind of similar-ish, sort of. Not really. You know what I mean. It's a feeling. D tier. Oh boy. Artanis is a fantastic duelist. He does a ton of damage. He can't get away. If you play Artanis, it is in your best interest to get stuck in and stay there until you fall over or the enemy falls over, because your shields recharge faster the more you're auto-attacking. And your escape isn't great. You can do some mind tricks. You can pull off some Jedi moves by, like, with your little swap and your little dash. But it's a skill shot to escape, and you might have used it to go in. So it might not be on cooldown. It might be not available. It's really hard to get away with Artanis. If they have slows and you're running away, you also don't get the benefits of your shields because you need to be attacking. It's not really an escape. Not really. It's like a trick. It's like a gotcha. You thought I couldn't get away, but I did. Haha. Yeah, if you're Artanis and everyone's health is low and you're starting to run away, just fight until you die. Just go down with honor. You know, that's what Artanis does. Make the trade. It's fine. People only get mad if you die for no reason. If you die and somebody else dies with you, it's much better. Kerosene a little higher? Yeah, I would say so. Malthael's at the bottom. That looks good. Like, I don't think these heroes are bad. Again, maybe Malthael. But I don't think these heroes are bad. I just think if you play them in solo queue, you're going to have a bad time. I think if you go in and you're like, I want to have an entire day of Kharazim or an entire day of Medivh, you're just setting yourself up for a bad day. You're like, oh, no one's doing anything. I can't do anything. It sucks. But if you had a team, completely different story. Completely different story. In fact, Medivh can help Artanis get out with his portals, with his shields. Kharazim can help Artanis get out with speed, etc., etc. Yeah. There it is. The solo queue quick match tier list from Fox in chat. I think that looks good. What do you guys think? Taz is more B than C? Maybe. Maybe he deserves to be a little higher. I just think he's really squishy. Like, really squishy. Compared to the other mages, he has far less health points. And he doesn't really have that great defensives either. They come in after the ultimates, and you use them to run. Bye! Yeah, I think this is good enough. Cool. Well, thanks for coming, everybody. This was a good stream. I had a lot of fun. I hope you did too. I will put this tier list on my Discord, and this stream will go up, well, when it goes up, and then I'll maybe even clip some stuff out of it for more things. But anyways, feel free to join us on the Fox Discord for more game discussions. There's links all over the YouTube channel. And I hope to see you in the Nexus. Bye, everybody.